Hey guys, it's Weds. One of the best things about Palworld is the ability to play the game the way you want. So, if you're a new player and you want to experience the game's mechanics at your own relaxing pace and without frustrations, I'm going to show you the best settings that I use to play the way I want, and if that fits your playstyle, I hope you give this a try. The difficulty goes from casual to normal to hard and custom. Casual and normal are not that much different, but casual would be more what I would go for if there was not a custom option. Here is a quick screenshot of my settings that I used. So if you decide to use my settings, this is a quick reference. You can take a screenshot of it for your convenience. The highlighted options are the ones I would recommend you definitely prioritize, and I will explain the reasons I think that. I'll start from the bottom with the death penalty option. This I choose no drops. All the other options can be extremely frustrating simply because the game is in early access and there's a lot of bugs that can kill you out of nowhere. And depending upon where your inventory drops on the map, it could be a bad day for you. Here's how the death penalty works if you don't choose the no drops option. Alright, to demonstrate, I'm just going to go show you my inventory, what I got, nothing useful. And I'm going to have this guy destroy me. Since I'm a low level guy, I'm just going to attack him and then make him destroy me. See how long that would take. There we go. So now I am dead, and then I drop everything in my inventory and I have to respawn. Now I have to respawn to a location where I can get my stuff as fast as I can. So especially if you're a new player, you don't really know these areas. And so let's go. I'm gonna go right here. Now I don't even know where I am as a new player, so now I have to go find my items. What do I do? Now if I look on the map and then just zoom in, and I can see this is where I dropped my stuff, where the elephant was, and then this is the red cross. That means this is where I died. So this is where I gotta go to actually go get my stuff. Now you can see how this is a big dilemma if you don't choose the no drops option. Now if you're looking at all your options and you don't know what to do, you might even attempt to swim across this ocean right there, right? Because you can see my stuff is all the way over there, but there is a better option. So if you go to the option menu and then just use a respawn point, then you can respawn to a closer location. So if we zoom in, so this is where we died, so we can just attempt to go this way. This is the starting area. Now we are at the starting area. It's closer to our dropped items. Now we can see our items all the way over there, but we don't have to go there because this is just for the purpose of this video. So I'm not going to pick this up. So we're just going to go continue on with the video and go to the other options. All right, lesson learned. So we just got to make sure that we use the no drops option. And the next option that I would recommend you prioritize is the enable raid events. This is fun at first. If you want to put this on, then you'll get the option to actually find some good items. You might find some new pals. If you happen to kill them, you can capture them, so you might get some new pals that way. But at first it is fun, but after a while, when you start building your base and you keep getting annoyed by those raids, so it can be kind of frustrating. So I would switch this to off and you never have to worry about it. Our next option that I would recommend that you prioritize is the time H to incubate massive egg. And it's also have a note that says other eggs also require time to incubate. Now, if you playing the normal difficulty, then probably at 2 hours, so you don't want that. You want to put this at 0. 0 will make it that when you put an egg in an incubator, then it instantly incubate. All you gotta do is just press the corresponding button and then you can just hatch the egg. But if you have the 2 hour, it can be a long time before you get your eggs. In any case, that's that. The next highlighted item that I would recommend that you prioritize is the player stamina reduction rate. This makes it whatever you are doing, wherever you're going, whether you're flying, running, or whatever, it makes your stamina goes very fast. And then this could be quite annoying in my opinion. So I would say when it comes to this one, just switch it to the lowest level possible and then just keep it that way. The next one to prioritize is the PAL stamina reduction rate. This one is for flying PALs. Like if you have your PALs that you use for flying, and if you keep this at the lowest level, then it's gonna make it possible for you to fly a lot longer without worrying about your PALs going down to the ground and then you have to go back up. So I would always prioritize this to make it the lowest level. But again, you can play the game the way you want. If you don't mind this, then you can just go ahead and keep it the way it is. Same thing with the PAL hunger depletion rates. I would keep this to the lowest level, and that way your PALs are not getting hungry all the time, especially when they're working at your base. They keep eating all the time and that stops them from working. So if you keep this at the lowest level, then that stops them from going to eat all the time, and that take away from them working for you. Those were the ones that I would recommend that you prioritize first, and then let's go over the rest of the list, and so we can take it from there. So for the daytime speed, it's how fast you want the day to go. So normally I would keep this at a 1-to-1 ratio. For the night and the day, just 1-to-1. I think that's a very good balance in my opinion, because sometimes you want to do things at night, but if you're someone that doesn't like to do things at night, then you can just maybe speed the night up to a higher number. But I would keep this at a 1-to-1 level. That way it's the same ratio with the day. The amount of time you spend during the day is the same amount of time that you spend at night, especially if you're trying to grind, trying to look for things at night. It's easier to find a lot of things. So I would keep this at the very good balance number. So it's a 1-to-1 for me. And now for the XP rate, so how fast you want to level up. So I normally put this at 15, but a lot of time you start the game at the midpoint, and I would just put this to the highest level at 20. So I would switch this to all the way to 20. Now PAL capture rate, that gives you a better chance. If you put it at to max, it gives you a better chance to catch the PAL a lot faster. But if you don't want to do that, you feel like this is too easy, then you can just lower the number and then just play the way you want. And then the PAL appearance rate, this I keep at what it is. This is the default option, that's 1. I would keep this the way it is because it doesn't mess with the performance of the game. And then for the damage from PAL's multiplier, this how much damage your PALs are going to do. Whether you getting damage from PALs, like if you find a PAL you're fighting, they do the amount of damage they do to you, and depends on what you want to do. I keep this at the same ratio, damage from PALs and damage to PALs. This is a good balance in my opinion. But if you decide that you want to one-shot PALs all the time, then you can just say damage to PAL. You can just max this up. And remember, if you keep this at the max level, then you can't capture PAL if you kill them. So I would say just make sure this is a good balance. And now for the PAL hunger depletion rate, we already talked about that. We already talked about the stamina. And then now the PAL auto health regeneration rate. This makes your PAL regen the health a lot faster if you keep it at the highest level. But you can keep this to 1, but I just max this up to all the way to 5. I think that's a very good balance for the PAL to get the health back as fast as possible. And same thing with this one, when they are in the box, if you put them in the box to get some rest, then if you want them to recuperate a lot faster, just max this out. Now from the damage from play multiplier, I like to keep this at the 1-to-1 ratio, just like the PAL version. So I would say just put this at 1-to-1, but if you decide you want something different, you can just change this. So that way you don't destroy the pal right away, and they don't destroy you right away. So it's at the same balance level. We already talked about the player hunger depletion rate, the stamina reduction rate. Now the player auto health regeneration, I would crank this up all the way to 5. Same thing with the sleep health regeneration rate for the player. I would crank this up to all the way to 5. Now for the damage to structure multiplier, I keep this at a 1-to-1 ratio, but you can just put this all the way to the lowest level. That way you don't get yourself destroyed when you get pal like the dictators. They're going breaking things around. Just that way your structure don't get destroyed very easily. So make him sturdier. And then for the structure deterioration rate, I would put this at the lowest level, which is 0. And that way, if you build outside the blue line, then your stuff doesn't get destroyed and you don't have to keep repairing, keep rebuilding and stuff like that. So that's why I would keep this to 0. And the maximum number of dropped items in the world, it's the default is 3000. I would keep this as so. Now for the gatherable items multiplier, I would crank this up to the highest level, which is 3. That way you get more resources when you start mining. For instance, if you're mining a node, you get more out of it. You get the max out of it instead of getting a little bit. You will get the max out of it. So I would crank this up. Now for the gatherable objects health multiplier, I would either keep this at a 1 or at 0.5, which is the lowest level, but to each its own. So I would say just keep it to 1 or do what you got to do for this one. So mine, normally I keep it at 0.5 or 1. It all depends. And then for the gatherable objects respawn interval, I would just say put this at the same level, 0.5, and then make things respawn a lot faster if you decide you want to do that. Now the dropped items multiplier, I crank this up all the way to 3. And we already talked about the incubation and the raid and the death penalty. And now for the max number of guilds, I'm not into any guild. I play by myself, so I keep this the way it is, so it doesn't matter. And then for the number of max pals working at your base, you're going to crank this up all the way to 20. The more pals you have at your base, the better I believe it would be for anyone. But if you want to keep at 15 because you see too many pals around, then yeah, keep this at 15. Well guys, these are the best settings in my opinion. If you want to play the game at your own pace in a very relaxing manner, I would choose those options. But the best thing about this is the fact that you have options to do whatever you want. So hopefully this helps. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next one.